Okay, so imagine your home, your safest space, suddenly just morphing, turning itself inside out into this sprawling, distorted city where, like, past, present, and future are all happening at once.
And what if your memories and everyone else's memories around you were actually the building blocks of this collapsing reality?
Exactly. Today on the Deep Dive, we're plunging into a really compelling narrative drawn from excerpts of Doctor Who, Cat's Cradle, times Crucible.
Yeah, we're exploring a pretty mind-bending situation. You've got this well-known time traveler. His reality gets warped, his memories gone, stolen, and his iconic ship, the TARDIS, it transforms into something completely bizarre.
So our mission for you, the listener, it isn't just to follow along with a, fantastical story. It's really to pull out the most surprising facts, the deepest insights about identity, perception, and, well, the nature of time itself when everything just seems to fall apart.
This deep dive is about understanding how subjective reality can actually be, how fast the familiar can become alien.
And what happens when the very fabric of existence gets stretched, twisted, and kind of rewoven.
Right.
So we start with the Doctor. He's in this moment of really unsettling quiet. Doing something totally mundane, actually. Dropping stale bread into a toaster.
But he notices something. Or rather, the absence of something, that tiny rattle from his TARDIS drive units. It's gone.
Yeah, after eons of travels.
Yeah.
The sound that usually just meant, a bit of maintenance. It's silent. And that silence, strangely, worries him way more than the rattle ever did.
And this quiet, it's not just about the ship, is it? It kind of echoes the Doctor's own feelings. His mind jumps straight to Gallifrey, his home.
Right, the dark Baroque auditorium, these silent ranks of centuries-old Time Lords just passively observing.
That image, it always made him want to run from ponderous domestic tasks. It reminds him why he left in the first place. He couldn't just sit there.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Is understanding found in just watching or, in the messy chaos of actually doing things?
That's a great question. But his quiet moment doesn't last long.
Not at all. His companion, Ace, she just bursts into the galley, smoking toast in hand, shouting, "You've done it again."
And Ace is sharp. She picks up on his moods straight away. One of his quiet moods before a storm of activity, she calls it.
And she notices he seems really out of place in suburban London, which is weird for him, right? He usually just slots naturally into any situation.
It's like he's sensing the shift, maybe even before it really hits.
And that feeling of being out of place, well, it escalates fast. Reality itself starts going wonky.
Totally. In the cafe, you literally see reality breaking down. A clock slowly slid down the wall. Walls start to shift.
And that painting. Swans, but their reflections are elephants. It's not subtle.
No, it's a visible unraveling of the everyday. It really challenges our need for order, makes you confront how fragile normal actually is.
And just when things couldn't get weirder, a cat walks in.
Oh yeah, the large marmalade tomcat, surveying everyone like they're barely tolerated intruders.
Its amber eyes settled on Ace with this unnerving impassiveness, which is extra creepy because Ace has recently started disliking cats, feeling they brought out the worst in her.
Adds to that feeling, doesn't it? Like something old and different is watching.
Then later outside, another cat. But this one's very small, perfectly proportioned adult cat with a shimmering silver coat. Just appears.
Meanwhile, the Doctor, he goes pale, whispers, "Hello, Alice. You have lovely eyes," to a toddler.
And then says something really ominous. I don't know. You tell me what happens next.
Chilling. That line, "You tell me what happens next," it shows he's losing his grip, right? Unable to predict the chaos unfolding around him. A huge red flag.
Absolutely. Then he declares the TARDIS has locked me out, but it wants me back inside.
Which is weird enough, but then inside the police box, the fault locator says, "All systems normal."
Ace is thinking what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a fault on the fault locator?
Laugh slightly. You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
And to top it off, the front door handle's just gone, deliberately removed.
So this idea of a ship being all systems normal while reality crumbles outside, it's a massive paradox.
What does that even mean? Is the TARDIS, like, sealing itself off? Or is its own internal logic just so alien that this counts as normal for it?
That's a really good point. The text suggests it's not just a breakdown. It hints at the TARDIS having this deep, almost living sentience.
The bit about needing expertise in everything from plumbing to psychology, for maintenance.
Exactly. It implies its distress shows up in ways we can barely understand. Its normal might be totally separate from the external chaos. Maybe it needs therapy sessions as much as an oil change.
Chuckles. I love that image. Okay, so the doctor's locked out. Ace, being Ace, goes back in.
Right, into these corridors that are now ramshackle and slipping apart. Not exactly welcoming.
She finds a dusty library and the contents are just...
Yeah.
Wow. The Doctor of Science's Tale, signed by Chaucer in 1388.
Right next to Baedeker's Galactic Guide, volume XE7, and a stack of 45s by Billy Fury, Adam Faith, and the Beatles.
That mix, Chaucer and the Beatles, it perfectly captures the TARDIS's whole chaotic, time-spanning nature, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. That temporal mess is key. These random objects, they hint at the TARDIS being this vast, disordered thing inside, a cat's cradle of dimensions, as it's later called, time and space all tangled up.
Like a mind just coming apart at the seams.
Precisely. And then the silver cat shows up again.
Yeah, but it's grown larger now, moving with this muscular, liquid smoothness, leading her deeper into the chaos.
Towards a slow churning ferment of dimensional dementia. What a phrase.
Then the ship's superstructure shook, walls sliding like ghosts, it's falling apart.
And Ace's last thought before she's plunged into, well, somewhere else, isn't even her own. It's the Doctor's thought. The process is only beginning.
She still has the TARDIS key, though, and a mysterious scroll. So the ship collapses around her, but she's got these potential clues, and she's thrown into, well, what?
Into the city. That's right. And it feels less like a real place and more like, I don't know, a discarded dream. Chucked out into reality anytime, any space.
It's not just a change of location. It's like reality itself has become fluid.
Yeah.
Uncertain.
And this city is just visually bizarre. Ace sees things like an iron bedstead sticking out of brickwork, a mirror reflecting a white tree that isn't there.
It's described as a silent cacophony of muddled styles, buildings slung together in a teetering jumble.
Yeah.
Just looking at it tells you the rules are broken here.
It's incredibly disorienting. You get false windows and balconies applied to the outside, but leading nowhere. It feels like a hollow shell or fascia. Like, reality here is just skin deep, built on illusions.
Even the sky is weird. Fierce stars in all sorts of colors. Red, blue, white, green, purple, gold. A nebula right overhead.
Yeah, a huge contrast to Earth's miserable and pale constellations, apparently. Well cosmic, as Ace thinks.
And there's a word for this stagnant reality out there.
Yes, from the Orkulqui, an ancient race. The word is mirvr. No exact English equivalent, but it means something like no weather, no change, no development, held in stasis. In limbo.
That perfectly captures the feel of the city, like a tomb where time is broken.
And the paradoxes just keep coming. There's a silver stream with a water wheel, like a huge clock cogwheel, turning with no visible support.
And Ace's bicycle. This is brilliant. She finds her own rusty bike, the one she just abandoned. Except she's still riding it. Then she finds another version, freshly abandoned, in a ditch.
New bikes for old bikes for even older. This was crazy. Her thought sums it up.
It's a perfect illustration of the time loops, isn't it? Past, present, future, all jumbled up, overwriting each other.
Like hitting rewind and play at the same time on a broken VCR, you see multiple versions overlapping.
Amidst all this, Ace runs into some people, or what's left of them, ragged individuals called phasals.
Right. Captain Peccary, Amnoni, Chesperal, Ryogas, Shanzi. They were Gallifreyan crew from the Doctor's ship, but now they're basically slaves. Their memories are locked away.
They have this fragmented story about a crash, and their future being stolen by the process, whatever that means yet.
And the memory loss is profound. They can't even remember the name of their home world.
Imagine that. Losing the name Gallifrey. It's not just forgetting a word, it's losing your identity, your history.
Absolutely. So when Ace, realizing their plight, finally tells them it's Gallifrey, it's huge for them. It's like giving them back their souls.
And the reaction is intense. Repeating, Gallifrey, 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 touching her head as if in wonder. They're desperate to hold on to it.
It really underscores how vital collective memory is. Lose your past, you lose yourself. You just become building blocks for someone else's twisted reality.
While this is happening, Ace sees something else disturbing. A dark figure, robed and collared, like a ghost of the Doctor.
But its face is a black reflective slab showing 11.56 on a digital clock.
She takes it as a sign he's not dead, but also a warning. There was much time left.
That ghost is such a strong symbol of the Doctor's own fragmented state and the urgency. And speaking of the Doctor, he's also in the city, but he's amnesiac at first.
Right. He struggles to understand what's going on. He describes the city having concurrent time strands, like living next door to last week.
And he identifies the controllers, these two really gross megaworm things, the processes, parasitic beings looking for the future. Interestingly, he relies a lot on Ace's point of view initially, her observations, to make sense of it all.
And then, the big reveal, the moment it clicks for him.
Yeah, he realizes, this city is what remains of my ship. We never left it.
Mind-blowing. He explains the TARDIS is a cat's cradle of dimensions, infinitely variable in form. What it looks like depends on who's holding the strings.
And these bungling, incompetent worms, the processes, they've turned the whole thing inside out.
It just completely reframes everything you've seen up to that point.
It does, and it explains how the city works. Its reality is literally constructed on the confused memories of the Gallifreyan crew.
Their mental Artron energy, the psychic stuff of Time Lords, has been hijacked by the invading process.
And the more minds it consumed, the stronger it got. The city is built from stolen thoughts. A terrifying idea. It makes you wonder about the Doctor's own mind, how vulnerable his memories are too.
A really chilling thought. So let's talk about these processes, these bungling, incompetent worms.
Described as a massive leech, a gnarled gray worm with footmouths leaving slime trails. Pretty gross.
They believe they destroyed the Doctor way back at the world's beginning and have stolen the future.
But it's not even that simple. There's an older process and a younger process, and they're actually fighting each other.
Right. One claims this now is new. The other says the beginning it starts again. They can't even agree on the present they've created.
That internal conflict just adds another layer of instability to the whole hijacked reality. Even the bad guys are confused.
And caught up in this mess is Vael. A young Gallifreyan, failed his exams, thought he was special.
He had visions of the TARDIS and a bent figure from his future. He ends up collaborating with the processes. The Phasals despise him for it.
His role is complex, though, isn't it? He's supposed to be important.
Very complex and quite tragic. He's revealed as the chosen successor of the Pythia, Gallifrey's ancient seer. He was meant to unlock the future with his unique mental abilities.
But he's manipulative, self-serving. He even sees his own grim future. A comatose weakling wound in a cocoon. A stark warning about ambition, maybe?
Absolutely. A real contrast to the Doctor. And then there's the Pythia herself.
Gallifrey's ancient seer. Described with a mask-like face streaked with gold, silver wire in her hair, but her powers are fading.
Yeah, partly due to Rassilon's political maneuvering in Gallifrey's past to consolidate his own power, and partly because she lost her agent, her connection to the time-sensitive Scaife crew, the Phasals' ancestors, who were key to her foresight.
Her final act is one of defiance, though. As she dies, she curses Gallifrey.
Proclaiming the world shall be barren and empty of new life. A devastating curse.
It explains that deep-seated and very dark race memory the Doctor mentioned earlier about the lack of children on Gallifrey. Her curse made it permanent.
A tragic end, sealing her world's fate.
Speaking of spectral figures, Ace sees another one back in the crumbling TARDIS earlier, that dark apparition, the ghost of the Doctor.
Which the Doctor later figures out isn't him at all. It's the Banshee circuit.
The ghost of his TARDIS.
Essentially, yeah. A failing safety system embodying the ship's instinct to survive. It appears because my ship is lost and dying.
It's howling at the moon, that tremendous whoosh. It's the TARDIS itself crying out, revealing its twinkling circuitry. Wow.
It adds this whole other layer to the TARDIS's sentience. It's not just a machine, it has survival instincts, it feels loss.
Okay, so reality is collapsing, the ship's a ghost, there are memory worms.
Yeah.
But there are moments of hope, right? Especially for the Phasals.
Definitely. Thanks to Ace telling them their homeworld's name, they start to remember, they reclaim Gallifrey.
And that moment, remembering who you are after potentially centuries of amnesia, it must be incredible.
It's like a spiritual awakening for them. They start celebrating, dancing in the rain around the Doctor.
Their drab clothes get replaced by this bizarre mix of clothes, all random in bright colors.
And they lay their umbrellas at his feet like religious icons before a saint. It shows they're not just individuals anymore, they're a crew again. They've got their identity back.
It's powerful. Shows how much our roots define us even for Time Lords.
And Ace herself, who the process is dismissed as just some token dive-brain human.
Yeah.
She's crucial.
She is the TARDIS key, that Swiss Army knife with IC. Nice little nod to Ian Chesterton.
And the processes call her the future, the source of the disruption, to their static now. Her practical, determined nature is exactly what's needed. She's the anchor.
While the Doctor initially is the one who's lost. Amnesiac.
Right. He has to piece it all together using Ace's observations, confronting that Banshee circuit.
Until he finally remembers. Fragments of his various lives, friends, enemies, endless travels, and startling encounters all flood back.
And crucially, he remembers the rule. No Time Lord was allowed to encounter the past of his world. Which is exactly what's happening here, putting him in serious danger of messing up the timeline.
That recovered memory is key for what happens next. Ace finds the attic, the last bit of the real TARDIS.
And the Doctor uses a chimper flower, some kind of biotech interface from the TARDIS, to give it commands.
Architectural configuration, he says, tells it to delete floor and lower structure to ground level, then reinstate solid floor and keep. He's actively rebuilding reality.
It's the redirecting of the Artron power, the kickstart the TARDIS needed for a full restoration.
And it's spectacular to imagine. The city collapses. The TARDIS police box form quavered and was suddenly sucked into its own center point, then coagulated into recognizable shapes.
The ship pulling itself back together from the chaos. But even as that happens, the bigger picture on Gallifrey unfolds. Rassilon's still playing his games.
With those onion dolls that are bigger on the inside, a direct nod to the TARDIS.
Exactly. He eventually takes power, ruling over the Gallifrey cursed by the Pythia. The Doctor later learns about the official story, the authorized version, the legendary whitewash of Rassilon.
Chilling. Rassilon basically twisting the TARDIS's nature for his own ends. Does history ever really change? Or just repeat with different players?
A question for the ages, especially on Gallifrey, and ultimately it comes back to the Doctor's final explanation of his ship.
My ship is a cat's cradle of dimensions, infinitely variable in form. What it looks like depends on who's holding the strings.
This city is what remains of my ship. We never left it, and we may never again. It's not just transport. It's a living, shifting reality itself.
And there you have it. What a journey. Through a reality that was literally a cat's cradle, woven from memories, fears, a time machine turned inside out.
The Doctor wasn't just fighting for his ship. He was fighting for the stability of time, of identity, against these things that wanted to consume the future.
And what really stands out is how memory shapes reality in this story, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The Phasals forgetting Gallifrey, the Doctor losing his own past, Ace being the anchor. It all shows how what we remember or what we forget can literally build or destroy our world, turn it vibrant or into a stagnant tomb.
So, if the Doctor's TARDIS is a cat's cradle of dimensions, infinitely variable, and what it looks like depends on who's holding the strings, maybe think about this for your own life. What strings are you holding?
Yeah, what personal cities, what realities are you maybe shaping without even realizing it, with your own memories, your beliefs, maybe even the parts of your past you've forgotten.
Perhaps the biggest adventure isn't just crossing galaxies, but really understanding the universe inside our own heads.